everyone, it's Sam from 100 Polka Dots and welcome back. Today's video is going to be about organization. I thought we'd take a little break from gift wrapping to do an organization video. So I'm going to try to roll out an organization video, inspiration video, or a system that I have in my home at least once a month. So that way you have an idea of how I organize my home. I wanted to first start off, before we go into kind of the systems that I have in my home, I wanted to show you what I use to get started. So this was the first step that I used for inspiration to travel down my journey of being more organized. I was not an organized person. You can ask my family. I was so disorganized. I had piles of clothes in my bedroom. I had cups on my desk. I had magazines that were like 5 or 6 years old. You know, I was just a hoarder. And when I moved out, I realized that I didn't want to live like that anymore. So that was, of course, moving out on my own was the very first step, and then realizing I could set up better systems now that I had a place of my own, and this was the first book that inspired me. So it really just takes one thing to inspire you to travel down that road to being more organized. If you purchased a book, then what you're doing is you're starting a reference library. You're starting, and I have a reference library in my home office where I use it to go back. If I'm in a rut, I go back for inspiration. Maybe the first time I didn't see the idea, but the second or third time I'll find something that I didn't even notice before, and that'll help me redo a room in our home or redo a system in our home. Another source of information and inspiration I wanted to share with you was the Domino magazine. My friend introduced me to this magazine years ago, and I absolutely fell in love with it because of the interior designs that they had and creative decorating tips. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for something that's, when you see it, you're like, I want my home to look like that. And once you realize that first step or that idea, then you know that this is the source of your inspiration. And I keep a couple of these in my home office, and as you can see, I've referenced a lot of different ideas. I put post-it notes on the page. Now, if you buy a magazine and you realize after you read it there was nothing in there that really inspired you, don't keep it. Put it in the recycling bin. Maybe look for coupons that might be in here. Don't throw those out unless you look for coupons. If you have like a whole bunch of these little tabs all over the magazine, this is a good source. Keep it in your office, keep it like in a bin, and this way, again, when you're looking for inspiration, you may not see it the first time, but you might see it the second or the third time. Another great source of organization inspiration, this is my favorite magazine of all time. Real simple. They have a website. I love this magazine. I can't tell you, I love the photography, I love the articles, and they come out with some really great covers. I mean, look at that. This is a couple months old. Oh, it's almost 2 years old. But it tells you how much I love this magazine that I keep it. Actually, let's see. I have November's. Look at the cover. Doesn't that make you want to have a beautiful home when you see illustrations like this? And when I see it, I absolutely love looking through it. I have like a little ritual. I don't open the magazine until I get home. So if I see it, I just buy it and I don't open it. I make a cup of coffee and I sit there and I just go through it. I just soak it all up, all that inspiration, I just soak it up. I even have to hide it from my husband because I don't want him to open the magazine just yet. I want to be the first one. So I usually hide it and he'll be looking for it. He actually was like, where's that magazine you bought? I'm like, oh, it's around here somewhere. If you coupon like me and you're lucky, you may find a $1 off coupon in the coupon section of the newspaper. So once you do, clip that out and go to the store and pick one up for yourself. Now, the Container Store does sell the magazine. Unfortunately, they do not accept the coupons. I've already tried and it was a no-go. So I go to Barnes & Noble, I go to the grocery store, and if it's there and it's a cover that really inspires me, I'll pick a copy up. So I don't have a subscription to the magazine. I don't want to build up the clutter in the home. So the occasion is I will buy it, look through it, and if there's nothing that really inspires me, again, I'll recycle it or try to reuse it in another way. Another thing too is if you go through the magazine and you only find 1 or 2 ideas, don't even bother to try to save the entire magazine. You can go ahead and rip those pages out, and what I do is I store them in a file folder. Now I have the Freedom filing system in my cabinet. It has been really, really helpful. I found it on the internet years ago, and I had a lot of paper around the house. I can't tell you how many bags of paper I had around the house. And you know, one of the goals, 1 month, 1 year, it was like, I'm tired of living under a lot of paper. And so I purchased the Freedom Filer. This has been a lifesaver for me. And so what I do is if I find an article that I like, I'll just tear the pages out and then stick them in the file folder. So this was a cool idea about organizing your shoes. Here was an idea where I really liked where they took postcards, vintage postcards, and they use it as wallpaper. All kinds of ideas like that for home decorating. And rather than, like I said, keeping the entire magazine, I would just cut out the pictures and store them in here. So again, when I'm looking for ideas, I'm in the process of redoing the bedroom, like decorating it, so I'm looking for ideas, I'm collecting ideas, and so I will always go back to my resource and just find ideas. When I was going down my organization journey, I realized that the way I see things may not be the way you see things. So there is such a thing as an organizing style. For me, I'm out of sight, out of mind. If it's not in front of me, forget it. I'm not going to remember it. And that's why one of the things I bought last year for this year is a giant calendar. And that was because I was always forgetting the date. Sometimes I'd be like, what day is it? And it's just, how do you forget the date? But when you have a lot on your mind and you don't see it every day, yeah, you forget what day it is or what's the date. Another thing too is I had a lot of to-do lists, and I had put them in binders, and I had put them in the filing cabinet, and months will go by, years will go by, and I realized that, I haven't tackled any of these ideas. So I have to have my bulletin board so I can have the ideas right in front of me. So I need visual tools and creative systems so that I stay organized. Now, not everybody is the same. You may feel like I need everything labeled because then I know where everything goes. You might be, I think it's called a perfectionist, where you absolutely have to have certain systems in place. Everything needs to be labeled, everything has to be checked off. So that's a perfectionist. And for a while I was trying to do that, and I realized that it wasn't working. And once I started reading more about who I was able to create systems that fit me. So for somebody who's out of sight, out of mind, I have a lot of clear boxes so that I can visually see what's inside it. I have clear file folders. I have a lot of organizing systems on the wall. So again, using that vertical space because I live in a small space, but also seeing my inspiration board so I remember to do something or remember to follow up on something. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it helpful in getting organized for 2016. Taking that first step is the hardest part, but now I hope that you have the information to start your reference library, your organization library, to get you to try new ideas, to get you to set up systems that will work for you. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I will do my very, very best to answer them. If this is the first time you've come across my videos and want to see more, be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.